How's everybody doing this Friday? Hope everybody's doing well. I had an update on my stream PC, so it was dicey whether or not I was gonna make it on time, but here we are. Today we'll be going over Nobara. I don't even know how you say it, but it's basically glorious Eggrolls, which done the most for the Linux gaming community that I mean, man, the guy's amazing, but he actually decided to roll his own Linux distro, and most people know I really don't care about Linux distributions. But what makes Nobara a little bit special is one, glorious Eggroll behind it, who makes Proton GE, and two, he does a lot of special kernel options, which I thought was really interesting. So I was like, let's pull it up, see what it looks like. I don't think we'll really get into any gaming or anything on it, but I at least wanted to just kind of see what the role of it is, or the spin of it. Most people say it's like a Fedora spin, but it's not really. It's more geared towards Linux gamers out there. And I was like, interesting. So we'll try it out. I don't know if I'll do a video on it or not, but I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. Other kind of fun things that I've been up to, and actually I'll get on the desktop and kind of just show you. If you're interested in this, let's come back here. I think I have. Let's get on. A lot of people have been asking about the Windows project. Let's turn the music down here. All right, there we go. Just a little more. There we go. I'm screaming over the music. I just wanted to make sure I had the music balanced. But let's get on Windows here and hold Win10. But this works on Windows 11. The project I've been working on, and I did a soft launch on Wednesday, and I'll do a video on this tomorrow, but specifically going over it. I made everything kind of tried to be memorable this time around, just vast improvements, but this is going to be kind of like an alpha release. I wanted to make it a little more polished on release, but inevitably I just can't for whatever reason. And I was like, let's just go live with what I have. It's infinitely better than the crappy old utility I had. So I was like, you know what, this is good, but there's still a lot of things that bug me, which I'll talk about in a video tomorrow. But if you want to try it out now, just do IWR for invoke web request -USEB. That's just kind of a way to take this address, which the new address is just christitus.com/win. This is not, if you type this in your address bar, this will redirect you. It's just basically a short code I created. So it'll redirect you to the GitHub for this new project. So if you want to look at the code, by all means, just type this in your browser, christitus.com/win, and you'll get to the new GitHub. And then we'll just pipe it into an IEX. And what this does, it'll go out, read, spit out. There's still some verboseness happening in the background as I'm still working on certain things. But for the most part, you guys can kind of mess around. Let me know if there's anything there for tomorrow's release. Again, this is version 0.01, the very, very first release of it. A couple things, I think some people were saying power throttling was kind of messing with their system, so I might end up removing power throttling altogether. But just a quick update on that. I know a lot of people have been asking about it, so if you want to try it out, you totally can. Let's get out of here. Come on back. So today, though, Nobara, we're going to go into that. Should be pretty good. Still working on server to desktop script installer. I don't know, not really working on it actively, but I probably should get back into it. I kind of wanted to just make that video to kind of show people how folks make Linux distributions and why all of them really don't really matter to me. It's still on Fedora, obviously, but yeah, that's it. This stream's just exploring a new distribution from glorious Eggroll, which makes Proton GE, so Linux gaming, basically. Red, thanks for the super chat. Did you hear about NVIDIA? Yeah, NVIDIA GeForce going open source. So I was going to make a video about that, actually, Red. And I didn't, and I'm not going to. Because I think everyone in their, every Linux creator out there has made a video about NVIDIA going open source. And I'm like, Well, information's already out there. I don't really feel the need to rehash what people already know. If I can do a unique spin on it, I'll do a video, but I really don't on this one. But the one thing I don't think anybody's really mentioned is the lag time when something goes open source in the Linux community. So for NVIDIA, you're still going to be downloading and using their proprietary drivers probably for about the next year. 6 months to a year, more than likely. Arch users, maybe sooner, maybe 3 to 4 months, and you Arch users can use the open source variant of NVIDIA. But probably for the next year, most people will still be using the closed source proprietary versions. And I think the Pascal chips, I think the 10 series, so 1080s, 1060s, 1070s, all you will still use proprietary drivers because I don't think those were capable with what was open sourced. But that was the too long didn't watch of any of the videos going over NVIDIA open sourcing things. You're still going to wait probably a good year. That's how it worked with AMD too. Like when AMD open sourced their drivers, I think it was back in, what was that? I want to say 2019 or maybe it's 2018. I can't remember. But when they open sourced, there was a lag period before it got put into the kernel. Now, I think NVIDIA's not going to be quite as long as AMD's was because back then it was kind of like a first time a major graphics distributor like AMD open sourced their drivers, so they kind of led the charge. But yeah, and then probably the other thing before we move on I'll mention is AMD, I think, did this because hackers pretty much released all the source code for NVIDIA drivers. So it was already out in the ether. And they thought, maybe let's just open source it. Might as well get some brownie points since it's already out there. So I think that's the big thing with GeForce for those that don't want to watch anything. John, thanks for the super chat. Glad you're testing Nobara. Something that might interest you, the Nobara League of Legends load time is like nothing. No more 5-minute load. Oh. Dude. That's crazy. That's nuts. I can't believe that. Well, let's give it a whirl and see what the install looks like for Nobara. We'll probably just do this in a VM for now. If I really like it though, I mean that's almost based on the super chat from John. I think I might just install this as my regular one because I would like to do it because right now I just do everything from Moonlight. Heck, I got a Mac Mini inside that I use for video editing, and more often than not, I'm using Moonlight to stream from that system. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but Moonlight does have some latency, so if you do competitive games like League of Legends, you're going to not want to use probably a game stream setup, but yeah, teach his own. All right, let's go Vert Manager, see if my brain starts working this morning. I had an old Fedora instance here. Let's go ahead and delete these two things. Delete. Well, that was a VDA. Wonder what that was. Oh well. Glorious Distro. Ah, see, I think Glorious Eggroll missed an opportunity there. Glorious Distro sounds so much better than Nobara. I should probably look up what Nobara means. I'm sure there's some kind of underlying meaning to it. I already have downloaded the ISO because nobody likes waiting for us to do it. I am doing the KDE spin. Nobara comes in GNOME and KDE. And let's see. None detected. Let's see if we got Fedora in here. We'll do Fedora. I think it's 35. That's what it's based off of. Let's give it about 10 gigs of memory. And we'll give it 6 CPUs. Disk space, 30 gigs should be fine. Actually might put this in here just so. Fedora 35, let's call this Nobara. We'll give it 40 gigs, sure. Yeah, I think so too, John. Like, because I do like to game a lot lately. And I would like to get back to doing it right on my main PC here because I can't. Every time I move away from Linux and I move into like Mac or Windows, a lot of times I'm just like, I hate the non-customizability of it. It always ends up driving me crazy, and I always end up going back to this on my main studio PC. I think the longest I ran was with Windows as my daily driver for almost a month. I want to say back when I was just kind of gaming a bunch, not being very productive. And it's fine for that, you know? It worked. Oh man. No, let's see here. What is left control, left alt. All right. Left control, left alt. Ah, cool, cool. Let's put this in workspace 2. And let's scale this up a bit. Scale display always. All right. That should be good. Do you have a GitHub for the Fedora install? I don't. Well, I think I do actually, but it's not complete. It's very, very haphazardly thrown together. I think just like my config files and some basic stuff. All right, here we go. Nobara install. This is going to be KDE version. Okay. Let's click install. Let's see what this looks like. Most of this very standard so far. See if I can point out any differences, but I don't think we're really gonna run into any differences. I don't see Glorious Eggroll changing much here. Well, we'll leave the root account disabled. Call this one Titus. No. Actually, yeah. We'll do our super simple password. And begin install. Yeah, the download of the ISO was super slow, and so he doesn't have very many servers. Whenever you have these more oddball distribution spins, usually they don't have them hosted somewhere because that would require payment to host it, like with the CDN. So like CentOS, Fedora, I think, a lot of all of RHEL too, all do like I actually had them as a channel sponsor like years ago, and it was called CDN 77, and they were like $500 a month, just to put it in perspective. Now, if I was hosting an ISO with CDN 77, I'm pretty sure those hosting fees would probably be in the around $1,000 a month for the bandwidth that is being used. So that's a lot of money, and just a little bit behind the scenes behind Linux distributions and hosting them, I would say, you know, you're not going to get that in donations. Even these major distributions, like let's say Ubuntu, one of the biggest ones, they probably get $1,000 a month, maybe more, maybe less, depending on the month. But Linux desktops are not very viable from a business perspective, so we're gonna just have to deal with the slow downloads. Or a lot of times you can rely on torrenting these two as well. Torrenting is pretty good. Arch has a really interesting way to do it. Oh, am I clipping? Oh, thanks for mentioning that in the chat. Maybe I got a little overzealous. Actually, let me change that. Filters. Drop it a couple decibels. Bam. All right, that should keep me from clipping. Nobody likes the mic popping. Or it might have been me messing with it, too. Yeah, Nobara is based on Fedora. obviously. Like, it's not even rebranded. It's just Fedora. So the big thing that Glorious Eggroll did here was RPM Fusion by default. Let's pull up the page why this installs. We'll shoot that over to like Workspace 6. Let's pull up our browser and Nobara. Let's go over what Glorious Eggroll has done. Project. Here we go. I love Glorious Eggroll. He forgot to change it. Oh, he's using WordPress. Come on, Glorious Eggroll. You don't need WordPress for this. Ew, gross. Anyways, sorry. Site's still a work in progress. Yeah, Glorious Eggroll. Don't use WordPress, bro. I'll make your website for you, so you don't. This is really basic, but don't. Oh. Just another WordPress site. Oh, gosh. All right, ding. That's immediately. Oh, not great. But here's the cool things. Let's get into the actual thing. Let's not harp on the website too much. All right, so fixes applied on top of Fedora 35. So you got FSync, WineSync, OpenRGB, which who cares about that, AMD, but these are all kernel patches. So kernel patches is a big thing because these require a custom kernel. So all of this isn't something you're just going to do or install some kind of program to make it happen. These are custom kernels that Glorious Eggroll basically made for this specific thing. Now, I think Arch, sometimes they have different systems. I remember I was using, not Glorious Eggroll's version, but the other big name in the space when it came to custom kernels. That would have been, it's early and I'm drawing a blank here. Help me out, chat. Who am I thinking of? Not CNN Plus. TKG. There it is. Yes, Linux TKG. So TKG was probably one of the biggest things. And now I think he stopped. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure TKG stopped doing a lot of the custom kernels and different things. He might still be doing it, but yeah, it was definitely TKG with that. But these are all custom patches for the kernel, which you just will not see in any desktop Linux distribution out of the box. So that's one big differentiator. Yeah, butchered it, whatever. Between here and most distributions. Then we got Mesa Git, which is very interesting on this one. I would say that's a cool little patch. glibc, I'm like, whatever. Clone displays, fixes CEF compatibilities with outdated things like Discord, Steam Beta. OpenAL fixes CSGO intro video crash. This is interesting. So I never understood why like CSGO never worked properly on Linux, even though it was like native client. So it's something with OpenAL. Like I would never even patch that. I just disabled the intro by I think you can skip intro by typing a couple things into your launch commands from Steam, and that's what I've always done to get rid of that. But that's cool, he actually fixes it. But I'm curious to see how much of this makes it into SteamOS. I'm going to tell you right now, SteamOS is not going to have nearly as much as Nobara. So Nobara, if you're like into Linux gaming, don't wait for SteamOS. Use this. This is going to be better. I'm 100%. I am 99.99% positive this is going to be a better distribution release than the SteamOS from Valve. And I know I'm right on this. So be sure if you're into it, this is where you want to go. Some people are waiting for SteamOS, and I think that's a mistake in a lot of ways. Up under ISO download spots, there's a link to OBS Studio. Yeah, let's see what he did with that. So for those streamers out there, for general usage, let's keep going. I'm going to get through all of it here. libUSD fix for high CPU usage for Xbox controllers. Interesting. Didn't even know that was a thing. EDK patch to fix VFIO issue. So if you're doing PCI pass-through and that's the thing, like you have 2 graphics cards, hey. And then G overlay. These are just versions. This VK Basalt is much like Windows version of. Oh man, why am I not? My brain's just not working this morning. VK Basalt is. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. I'm just gonna move on. But basically, it gives you like extra lighting controls, textures, those types of things in mini games. Yeah, there we go. Linux version of Reshade. Thank you, chat. So that's, you know, but all these can just be installed in any Linux distribution. So that's the things. Like I kind of trying to highlight things that you just really wouldn't see in another Linux distribution. So the things that I don't highlight, I'm like, you can do that in most distributions easily. Yumix DMNF provided by front-end GUI for managing packages. Okay. I don't really care about a front-end GUI for managing packages, but neat. I probably should check out Yumix DNF. What is that? Let's see. Is that in the official repos? Let's see if it finds it. Yumix, baby? Huh. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what that Yumix DNF is, but probably like a front end for managing packages. I'll have to look it up. Okay. So he custom built this. Let's see. Let's see what he did here. I'm just going to install it real fast. All right, Yumix DMNF 4.4. Oh, actually, they have a COPR repository. I didn't really need to do it that way. Oh well. Yumix. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. I'm missing a couple of repositories. I didn't need to do the git. That's another thing like about Fedora that I love is most people are always talking about the AUR and Arch, but they have something called the COPR, which is a really good repository where you can grab a lot of things without building from source, which is pretty darn cool. So anyways, Yumix. What? Ah, okay. All right, let's go full screen with this. Refreshing repository metadata. Looks cool. Yeah, COPR is basically PPA's done right. I like that. I like that a lot, Josh. Yeah. That is so true right there. Oh my gosh, man. 100%. 100%. I think I'm using some kind of extension. You can do it in any kind of Chromium-based browser. I think even Firefox has the same extension. I think I'm using like Weeva. Will the distribution have game scope session? It does. I'm pretty sure. Any thoughts on the EA package manager? I'm still using EA. A lot of people prefer, I think, Paru for those Arch users out there now. Oh, this is cool. This kind of reminds me of, oh man. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, gosh, I can't, man, I am not thinking very well today, but there was one I was using all the time on Debian-based systems. Anyways, that's cool though. A little GUI for those that want to do like grouping and say, hey, what all's here? Is there anything you want to get rid of? It's all just sitting on your desktop. History shows you what all you've installed. That's kind of neat. I like the history here. What all have I installed? File roller. And then this is kind of right when I was... Wow, that is neat. So you can roll back and kind of see, okay, my system stopped working like a day or two ago. Come into here and go into history and see what you've done. I like it. It's a cool little program. Glorious Eggroll is always fine and good stuff, though. I love it. All right. So that's what Yummix DNF is. I just never saw it, and I was like, let's install it real fast. SE Linux disabled for performance. I mean, it's an interesting take. I see why you disable SE Linux. Any RHEL-based system, typically, most servers will have SE Linux because it's the most secure Linux distribution, or that type of thing. Obviously, disabling SE Linux would make you much like an Arch system or a Debian system. Most of those don't have anything except maybe AppArmor, which AppArmor is not bad per se. It's just not as good as SE Linux. So that's an interesting tidbit, just something you should probably know. But most people, honestly, there's like 3 different modes. There's completely disabled, there's permissive, and then there's secured. I think for SE Linux, or not as secured but enforced. And what you'd want, like on my system, if you do have Fedora, you can do SE status, I think it is. Yeah. So you can see what mine is right now. For mine, I didn't disable it, but I did put it in permissive mode. So it does give me some protections, but it doesn't completely disable it. So if you're a desktop user, typically you're going to want to use permissive mode, because every time you install a new system, if you have it in enforced mode, you're going to have to go through and painstakingly make profiles and other things if they don't already exist. And it can be just a huge pain to set up. So many new Fedora users unfamiliar with SE Linux will always disable it. And I would say don't do that. If you don't want to mess with SE Linux that much, I would prefer permissive mode instead of enforced. But I think he disabled it specifically for performance. And it's an interesting choice. Not necessarily one I'd do, but it's not wrong per se. It just, he wants the best, fastest system possible for gaming, and SE Linux does eat some performance, which I get it. RPM Fusion repos by default, thank you. Oh my gosh. First thing I do with almost every Fedora install is to enable RPM Fusion, which can get like Steam, Lutris, all of these installed. So much easier. And then we have some really interesting patches right here. Look at this. This is an interesting OBS patches right here. We have browser plugin, which is absolutely needed. So almost everything I do, like you're seeing the Joshua Lee's COPR comment, which I probably should remove, but it's a good comment. And then like this right here, that's all browser-based plugins. So I would need that if I was going to do OBS in Linux. And then game capture support. This is capturing windows, not entire desktops, which most Linux people recording on OBS will just capture the entire screen. But if you capture just the game, that can be actually good. OBS Studio capable of NVENC and H.264 encoding, which is good. That's just good, good patches. So I honestly, I could probably use this on my stream PC if I didn't have a bunch of Elgato stuff, which I do, so not going to happen. But neat for those that only have one PC and want to either stream or record for like YouTube videos and stuff. So all in all, pretty cool. Let's see how we're doing on our install here. It's pretty much finished. Let's see what the initial boot looks like. Give it an old restart and see what Nobara KDE version looks like. All right, now we're started up. We can go full screen with this so we get the full immersion experience. All right. I'm getting a little bit of artifacting. This is not his doing. This is me running it through a VM. Let's see if we can't fix that though. Uh-oh. Let's do a search. QEMU. And we can make this a little bit bigger. Go full old man mode. Yeah, Black Worm. It's actually made by Glorious Eggroll with a bunch of custom kernel patches. So if you're into gaming on Linux, this is it. Some people are waiting for like SteamOS, thinking that's going to be good. Not to say SteamOS is going to be bad. I'm just going to say this is going to be better than a SteamOS. Kind of interesting. We got a couple extra repos like the H.264 repo from Cisco, and then we have Nobara on top of the regular Fedora, and let me get this QEMU going. We got RPM Fusion. We don't have any yeah, well. All right. Let's grab QE. No. All right. You probably need the guest. Where's that? Guest agent right there. Okay. Sudo DNF install QEMU guest. I couldn't remember what the package was. Oh, it's already installed. Okay. So this is an easy fix, guys. Let me show you the power of proper virtualization. So that's what virtualization looks like when you don't do it properly. I think we need where was that guest agent? I think it's a channel spice agent, QEMU guest agent, finish. Oh, well, it's there. Okay, never mind. Guess my guest agent didn't work, or wasn't active. We got the spice. No spice must flow. That's weird. Okay, so that actually maybe the initial boot it just didn't like the resolution or something. Let's change the resolution and see if we still have the artifacting. Again, I am using a VM for this. Yeah. So let's take the display. So maybe OGL compositing, the default has crashed Kwin in the past. Huh. I think we got some shenanigans going on with the compositor. All right, let's come up to 1080p. What's that look? Oh, oh no, it didn't like that. Okay. Man, this is not a strong showing out of the gate, is it? Okay. Does not work very well in a VM. Let's just say that. Oh, man. Alrighty. So, how do I fix this? Let's see. Out of the gate with KDE on a VM, not good. But that's probably Spice. Let's change this from Spice. Maybe maybe the compositor will work better if it was just using a different display. Oh, I'm on Wayland. Oh, okay. Everybody's like, switch to Xorg. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wait, did this... Okay. Huh. All right, let's switch to Wayland. Better than SteamOS. Well, it's here. So there's that. All right, let's switch to Wayland, see what or switch to Xorg, sorry. Someone's saying just do plasma, shell, -- replace. Okay. And then I think if we do a log out, we should be able to do Xorg. Oh man, I crashed it again, didn't I? All right, let's force reset one more time. 5th time's the charm. Yeah, let's go to let's go to the login experience. All right, X11, please. All right, let's see what X11 gives us. All right. I think this is looking better. There we go, boys. We got it. No more artifacting. Thank you, Xorg. Wayland, you suck. You continue to suck. I don't care how many people tell me it's good. Every time I run into Wayland, I end up running from it. Like, just... Can we just give up on Wayland already? It's not going to be a thing. I mean... just... X11 just works. It's just one of those things. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Alas, no. Everyone will just keep saying, Wayland's actually better. Technically, from a code perspective, Wayland is better. But it just breaks all the time, and most apps aren't compatible with it. But it's better because it's cleaner and low efficient, except there's no X11 forwarding or any of the things that have been built over the past 20 years through X. And we're not going to port those over. And it's up to all the app developers to redesign their apps for Wayland. But Wayland's gonna be better. Any decade now, Wayland will take over. Give it up. Give it up, man. Wayland sucks. I mean, it's just so bad. Oh, man. All right. Continuing. All right, here we go. All right, we have fixed this. Let's do our updates. Now that we actually have a functional system without it glitching out, we'll just do an update. See what the DNF update looks like. We have Vim installed by default. Glorious Eggroll, you're amazing. We have the Mesa drivers. That's a Git version of the Mesa drivers, so that's going to be upgrading almost all the time. We have the fsync kernel with coming directly from Nobara. These are the official ones from Fedora. Kernel headers coming from Nobara. Here's the Mesa Git I was just talking about. RPM Fusion, Nobara Custom, and then so mostly the kernel modules and Git. So a lot of graphic stuff coming from Glorious Eggroll. What awesome window manager doesn't work with Wayland. You have to use like some different window manager. If you want to use BSPWM, DWM, i3, I mean, you have to. You can't with Wayland. You have to use Xorg. All window managers pretty much use it except for Sway, and I think i3 has a Wayland spin, but they're all crap. Just use X11. Yeah. I used Sway a little bit there, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's a window manager. I mean, what do you want a window manager to do? It manages windows. Although I will say I like BSPWM the best. It's still my fave. Nimis, thanks for the super chat. Yes, that's so true. Oh, X just works fine. It does. But I still catch myself. I still try Wayland. Every year I install Wayland at least once. Because everyone's like, well, it's gotten better. Yeah. It's gotten better. And Wayland has gotten better. It's just, it started from such a low spot. It has a long ways to go. Latest script at the very start of the stream, Heatstroke, I touched on that. Here, let me type it in chat so you guys have that latest script. Let's see. Oops. Oh, no. Oops, I stopped right in the middle of an update. I forgot I was in VM. Did I just break my system? Probably. It's fine. Let's just let that go in the background. That's not good. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. We might have broke DNF there. Anyways, moving on. If you do want to run that Windows script, Heatstroke, do IWR-USEB and christitus.com/win, pipe that into an IEX. That is the command for it. You can also just type that in your browser and go to the GitHub too. I still need to make the README for that before tomorrow as well. All right, so now let's get back to our VM that we've may have broke. Yeesh. Is that still going? Yeah, still going. Ruh-roh, Scoob. I don't think I canceled it. So if you ever have like a DNF update and you accidentally hit some commands to stop it, it actually runs in the background. So I did a PS aux to kind of see if DNF is still updating. It is. I don't know how to get back to actually seeing the verbose output of it. I just know don't reboot your system while it's doing the update. And it is doing some. You can also do it through like Task Manager. What's the Task Manager? Let's see. What was that? Kwin. What's I think it's like system monitor. There we go. Let's go applications. No, processes. System monitor Kwin. Well, I'm blinding you, I know. I'm sorry. I need to wake up though, so it helps me. Yeah. We're just gonna let that sit for a second. You leaving, babe? Let's go. All right, have fun. See you tomorrow. All right. What do we have? Oh, Control Z sends some sort of pause signal to chat. FG, please. All right. FG, no current job. All right, let's come out of that. FG. I've never used FG. Learn something new every day. Control Z pauses bash G. Good to know. Oh, hey, there we go. That's cool. So if you do Control Z, that is cool. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and pause it right in the middle of a kernel update. Something I would do. Oh yeah, that's neat. So I guess if you're in the middle of something and you're like, hey, I need to pause this, Control Z, and then FG. What's FG stand for, chat? Foreground. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, any thoughts on me running a Tor exit node on Microsoft Azure or Linode? I mean, you can. A lot of Tor exit nodes are actually run by government entities trying to snoop on people in the Tor network. So there's that. But the more people that run Tor nodes, the better. The more secure the network does get. Man, learn something new every day. All right, cool. Let's give it a reboot after our update. Plasma. And we got the new deal. All right, cool. I like the honey wave a little bit better. Games. I wonder how League looks on this. Let's install League of Legends. Someone mentioned in chat, I think it was John, earlier about League working so much better on this. And there's so many Lutris installers that just do not work very well. And that's really what this is all about. So let's go lutris.org, I think it is. Oops, no. What is Lutris? .net, that's right. Ah, okay. So he did a custom launcher for it. Let's see. League of Legends. So we got the standard, and then we have a OC. Oh, that's Oceanic regions. Let's go installer. Yeah, for sure, Zero. I know you love Arch, and like I said, choose what works best for you. That's the best thing. All right, let's install it. See what this looks like. So look at this. It's coming from GitHub, Glorious Eggroll release. That's just the wine that he personally made. It makes me wonder what it looks like when I go to install it on mine. Yeah, we'll see what this looks like. A lot of times when you're installing stuff through Lutris, it gets real janky, and you start seeing artifacts everywhere. I know League of Legends, the installer is actually not too bad, but once you get to install it, is just a nightmare on Linux. You have to just kind of let it sit and do its thing, locked up for like 30 minutes to an hour. Just like walk away and come back. That's why I wanted to do League install on this VM, just to see what that looks like. So let's go install. So far, pretty good. Yeah, the big thing with Nobara, which I almost, since it's Fedora based, I'm almost tempted to just see if I can't grab his repos and then just upgrade my existing Fedora install to the Nobara way. Should we break my current install? That'd be cool, because I shouldn't need to install it over my existing one. And then I continue using my BSPWM and everything in this place. So a lot of people always are like, well, I need to install a distribution. I think we could take a lot of these things Glorious Eggroll's done and just mod out an existing Fedora install and basically warp it into Nobara. Because I'm looking at what he's done, and I'm really impressed, by the way. Glorious Eggroll, if you see this in the future, dude, good job. Huh. But I think we can do it. All right, let's log in here. Don't want to give out my username here if I can remember what it is. I think, is that it? Oh no, that was not it. Couple guesses here. Oh wait. Okay, cool. We're good. I did remember my account. So let's see what this does. It's still responsive. Okay, so this is a responsive experience. On normal Linux, this is not a good experience at all. Like this, like the movies playing, this would all be locked up and it'd already not be working the way it should be working. Oh, am I not supposed to log in? Oops. Did I forget? Oh well. Let's see what happens. I mean, overall, though, that's pretty cool. Like, that is working, and it is responsive in the background. So I think we need to modify. I mean, this is going to take a sharp right turn, maybe into a ditch or a tree or however, whatever analogy you want to make. I think we take my existing Fedora install and we morph it into Nobara using all the tweaks that Glorious Eggroll has painstakingly taken for his. I bet we can do it. Take a snapshot first. That's probably a wise idea, Joshua. But future favors the bold. No snapshot, let's just do it. This is a full throttle. I don't know why. I think I had it like it was on sale at like the 7-Eleven or whatever. And I just was like, oh, buy two, get one free. Man, this is working really well, though. I almost don't even want to spend the time finishing this. I just kind of want to... Well, it's all the way there. Let's let it finish. Is it the 13th? Oh my goodness, it is Friday the 13th. That's crazy. I gotta say, makes me want to. I've been tinkering around with like Guild Wars 2 a little bit too. Man, I. All right. While this does its thing, so let's take a peek at what he's done under the hood. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, I need to. Oh, man. Oops. That's right. I forgot about that shortcut key. Okay. So I think we just close that out. And then it should finish. Maybe? That was impressive. And this is all in a VM, by the way. Alright, cool. So then let's play League of Legends through a VM. Yeah. Change that. Oh, I don't think that's installed. Oops. Alright, I want to try this on my system. Okay. So what we're going to do is come into here, blow that up a bit, and we're going to go into see what he did with the system. I want to say yum repos, and we're going to modify this. Let's close out of old league. All right. This is everything that I want to grab. So RPM Fusion, that's already in there. But I want to add the Nobara repo, which it looks like he's just added RPM Fusion. We have the traditional Fedora stuff. He did add the Cisco 2641 and PyCharm, which actually I think I already have PyCharm in my repo. So let's take a peek at my system. Oops. I'm still in here. Darn it. All right. So this is my system. And we're going to come into etc yum. All right. I have a little bit more going on. PyCharm. I actually have almost all of the same. The only thing that's different between me and him is he's using the Nobara repo. I already have almost all of the settings that he's done. I would just like to get all those custom kernel modifications that he's done. That should be pretty easy, right? So if we look at Nobara repo, oh, that's all right there. I bet you he probably put that in his GitHub repo. Nobara GitHub. Yeah. Nobara CPR. Oh, did he make a COPR to basically just upgrade it? Let's see. Maybe he just did this for us. Why reinvent the wheel? Yes. Did that grab Nobara? I don't see it here. So then we need to install the packages from his distro too. So that would be, that's OBS custom. There's these Vulkan switcher, game utils, libc, Xbox One, the kernel, messagit. So I'm trying to think of the best way to grab all this would probably be to export the installed packages into a list. Yeah. Wait, who's the sudo the help? I can't remember. On DNF, what was the listing of installed files? I think we can just push that out. And then I can just strip out all the KDE nonsense that's in here and then upgrade my existing one. All right. I like it. I like it. We're going to upgrade to Nobara from a regular one. I just don't want to reinstall and reconfigure my stuff at all. My configs are there, but I don't have to redo all my two-factor logins and all that business. So, search DNF installed package. I think it's just list, isn't it? List installed. All right. So what we're going to do is just do a sudo DNF list installed. And then we're going to output that to install. Need to put that to home. Installed.txt. Cool. So then if we open up our browser, we have our installed text file. This has all the packages. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So then we just need to clean this up a little bit. What do we got? Is it Alt? No. Does Kate have that? Can't remember. Yeah, I guess I could mess around with Vim, get that going. Or I could just pull it into VS Code. But let's take a peek through all of these, which if you can't see, let me blow that up a little bit. And like the stuff I know that just does not matter, like cups, that's your printers. Let's get rid of that. And Anaconda, what? So I think what we're gonna do here actually is we'll redo this export, but we're gonna just grep Nobara. So you have Nobara like DNF. I'm not sure what Anaconda is for that repo, but I think what we'll do is we'll just grep everything from Nobara base and custom game utils and stuff. This is so gonna break some stuff. But I think, you know, there's a chance that this could just work out beautifully. So what we're gonna do, this is all the packages that are installed. Just tons of KDE garbage and all this other stuff I don't really even care about. I just want all of his beautiful gaming additions. So I am gonna move through this. Maybe RPM 2. But you know what? There's probably some dependencies it can just grab on the fly. There's really not that much coming from him, other than Mesa, graphics, kernels. Some would say that's actually quite a bit, but I think we'll do this. So this is what we have. We're just going to delete that, move it to trash. Let's go ahead and pull up, let's just do terminal. And then we're just going to do DNF list installed, grep Nobara, output that to knob install.txt. So now, how many packages we got? This is all the packages that we need to install. Dude, that's not much. That's only 85 packages. And I probably already have most of this, but I need to add his repos. Simple. So we got our package list. We'll grab his repo. We're going to retrofit my current Fedora, and then we're going to install League. Yeah, so this is going to be just for gaming, because I don't like GNOME and I don't like KDE that much compared to my custom setup, because my custom setup just, I think even with all the crap I'm running, what have we got? I have a lot of packages installed. And I am using, oh, well, I have 10 gigs going to the VM right now. So there's that too. So we got that. And then I think the next thing we need is copying etc yum repos, and then Nobara repo to here. So we're just grabbing that and that. So this is the package installs, this is the repo. Let's see what happens. Kind of pumped about that. Let's copy it. Best way to get it from the VM to mine without too much trouble. Probably shutting it down, adding a folder redirect. Let's do some VM magic here. If this doesn't work, I'll just throw it on my NAS box. But I think we can do a folder redirect. It's file system, mount, mapped, browse. And downloads, sure. Does that give me... No. That's not. Oh, it's wanting an actual volume. Source will be. Does that not work? Oh, no. Okay. Whatever. No. That's not. Ah, what am I doing? Started streaming 69 minutes ago. Nice. All right. Darn it. Why am I having problems with this? Whatever. Target path, I think. Titus. Search. Did that start up? Thought I started it. Viewer disconnected. Ooh, it might have, that, it might not have liked that. Let's just give it a... So, I don't know if that folder redirect will work, because the folder doesn't even exist. Yeah. Shut it down. Folder redirect. Home Titus Arch. Okay. That's fine. Guess not running. Start it up again. And then if this doesn't work, we'll just do it through the NAS. I don't really want to mess around with it that much. And I don't think that worked. Unless there was nothing in that folder. No, there's plenty of stuff in there. Alright, whatever. Whatever. Let's just go in the network. And I'm going to go into chat as I log in here. Don't want to give out like the IP of all this stuff. I don't think it really matters, but still. Better to err on the side of caution. Oh, I'm not even on the same network, am I? That's right. Well. Yeah. Isolated off. Oh, why is this so hard? For me, early in the morning, I don't know. So, best way to do this. What would be the best way? All right, let's just Google. I'm drawing a blank here. Vert manager folder redirect. Okay, on the host system, make share. Let's just do this. We'll come into VM. It's already there. We will go CD media. What is that? Data, I believe. VMs. All right, make directory. Share. chmod 77. That seems egregious, but whatever. And then attach file system, fill in the name of source path, share in our case, and the virtual target path. Anything you like. I will go with SharePoint. It's weird. Switch mode to mapped. That's fine. Confirm. Now you can mount your shared folder from the VM. Okay. From the guest. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Well, we're getting into VMs now. Boy. So let's shut this guy down. Just gonna remove what was there. Come in here, folder redirect. Go into our VMs, refresh, grab our shared directory, choose that. Target path, we'll just put SharePoint, sure, whatever. Apply. Start that up. Somehow it does this sometimes. I'm just like, darn it. Vert Manager, somehow the viewer just doesn't pop in. And then we'll make directory. We'll actually do this in our home directory. And then put it all there, and then just copy paste that, and it'll just show up on our home system. We don't need to do fstab or any of that. All right, home directory, make directory share. And then we do just mount. Mount -T9P output trans equal vert IO. Oh man, I totally whiffed that, didn't I? We'll go share point to home Titus share super user. Okay. So we're gonna move knob star into share. CD share. So we have 1 hour later, we finally moved these two files. All right. This is here. Just to destroy our system, this is what I've done. But let's make sure that it actually took it. Where's my data files? There we go. VM, share. Aha! It is alive. Still got some jank going on with my system, but we have successfully moved from the VMs, and now we need to clean these up a little bit. I think we could probably just do this in VS Codium. Open. Okay, that's fine. Open. Maybe not. All right, I guess we're gonna try with Vim. Vim. Media, data, VMs, share, knob install. Oh, permission denied. Oh, I gotcha. Let's take these star. We'll just move them into my home folder. And then we're gonna just take those and sudo ch own Titus knob star. Now, if we look at it now, read write, probably should do some standard fixes to that. Probably like sudo chmod 755 knob star. Okay, now we have those properly done. Now it'll pull it. I see why it wasn't working before. We have our repo. We'll open this with VS Codium, and yes, victory is ours. So, was it control? Can't remember. There it is. Okay. It's like I can't remember what it was. All right. Perfect. So now we have this, a nice text file to install all of our good stuff. That's nice and clean. And then the repo, we need to get that in line, and then we'll do an update. Hopefully we won't break our system here, but don't try this at home. We'll see. Nobara repo. We're gonna go into super user. We'll just switch to root, etc. Yum. All right, and now from here we're gonna copy home, Titus, Nobara repo into here. Let's take a peek at what we have. Privileges are a little off. So let's just chmod. That looks like 744, I think. Oops. Not 7, but 644. My bad. Ah, perfect. Okay, so that matches up perfect. We'll do a DNF update. No, we're not doing time shift. Backups are for those that care about their data in their system. I care about neither. Oh man. Okay. It is, holy smokes. This is gonna be interesting. So we are deleting our kernel core, kernel modules, kernel extra. We're going into an fsync. Whoa. Yikes. Oh, we got our kernel headers coming in. Oh man. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah. Here we go. Oh man. This is definitely some... We will see if the gods, the Linux gods, are with us here. This will inevitably probably break the system beyond repair. Don't try this at home. But man, probably should have done a time shift. I think you just did a Linus. I think I did worse than Linus on this one. I hope you have nothing else to do today. Oh no. Oh, what's up, GFY? Let me pull over while this is going on. Oh, nice, GFY. VMware image of my entire... You know, I've always liked VMDK files the best out of every possible one. For actually storing... These VMDK files can actually be read by Virt Manager, QEMU, VirtualBox, and VMware. I mean, who really cares about Microsoft and their Hyper-V? It's more of a joke. Microsoft thinks it's a joke too now. They basically discontinued Hyper-V. It's really safe to switch to Nobara. Some people on Reddit are saying it is unsafe and had privacy issues. I think the unsafeness with Nobara that they're talking about is the removal of SE Linux. Which, I mean, that doesn't make it unsafe per se. It just means certain programs that are running in your run space aren't sandboxed. So by default, Fedora, for security purposes, anytime a new program enters the environment, SE Linux basically says, hey, you can play inside this little sandbox, but not outside of it. That's it. And Nobara basically removes the sandbox. So that's probably where the Reddit criticism comes from. And that's a decent critique, but it's not as... I mean, most people using Linux desktop are not doing it in an unsafe manner. All right, here we go. This is going to be interesting. VMware, add hardware. Yeah, I see it. Are you just using VMware Workstation? Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to play out, guys. I'm for real not sure. Although I will say, I do want to install that package text file. Matt, we decided today we are going to upgrade my Fedora to Nobara, which is Glorious Eggroll's Fedora spin that has custom kernels and a whole bunch of like gaming optimizations. Instead of installing Nobara, which we did in a VM earlier, we're just saying, hey, let's just upgrade, do an in-place upgrade of Fedora to include all of his stuff. I'm not sure how this is going to work. So we're just going to wing it. It'll be interesting to see. But I did need to see installing from the text file. Let's see how that goes. It did install and remove the kernel properly. Fedora install from text. Yeah. What do we got? Right. DNF. Oh, allow erasing. That's okay. All right, we got some random command off the internet. Let's run that. We will not do the allow erasing just because I want to see what this does. But we'll see. Knob install.text. Does that work? Okay. Did that grab everything we had from our text file? It does look like it, though. Everything's coming from Nobara. Yes. 79 packages. It was about 85 packages, I think, in the text file. So that does add up. So it does look like that did work. So now we're just making sure. What I did now is, so we added the repositories from Nobara to upgrade our base kernel packages and all the tweaks that he made. And then I was like, hey, I wanted to also grab Glorious Eggroll's packages he was doing. So I did a grep of all the installed packages from Nobara that's using his repositories, not the official Fedora repositories, and installing all of those custom packages. So now we have all that. Now, before we do one more update, let's make sure everything's good there. We've done the repos. We've done all the packages in Nobara. The moment of truth is upon us. Are we ready? Let's go. Well, okay. A little bit of a delay. And now we wait. BIOS screen. That's good. F-Sync 5.17 for the Grub bootloader. We should be getting a screen soon. Maybe. Uh-oh. Usually doesn't take this long. Did it work? Okay. Did better. We're ahead of where I thought we would be. We are now officially on the Nobara 5.17 F-Sync custom kernel by Glorious Eggroll. We have usage of about 1 gig of memory with all my shenanigans going on in the background. Oh. That's new? Why? Be sure you want to close this window. Oh, that's a new prompt. I don't know where that come from. Okay. So now, let's install League, right? What's Lutris look like right now? Do I have League installed on here? So, oh, I already have League installed. Let's play. I don't think this works because I did this a long time ago, and I don't think it updates the package. I guess that's maybe one downside to Linux gaming is when there is a massive change in your container, it's just going to break. So you have to pretty much re-download. All right, well, that's fine. I mean, League's not a big game. Let's just uninstall it, right? Stop that. Let's quit that. Let's go to Lutris. Let's go to League. Let's click install. And install. Okay. So I'm just curious to see how this goes. Hey, Mira. How you doing? Man, I can't believe you've been a member for 22 months. That's wild. It's almost 2 years. That's so cool. All right, we got English. Let's see how all this goes. Now, I think they might have changed the installer up too, so I'm curious to see how this plays. Now, we saw how this install worked on Nobara's base ISO. I imagine doing the reinstall now with all the tweaks probably will work, but there might be other things. I think there are little other settings that Glorious Eggroll probably did that I have not done yet on my install. Yeah, this should have FSR and all the good fixins as far as that goes. Oh yeah, that's a good one, John. Check to see if the runner in .local share Lutris runners is there. It's downloading right now, and it does look like it is there. But let's double check that while this downloads and installs. Let's come on over to our other fresh instance. Let's go local, share, Lutris, runners, wide. So right now we have, you can tell I have the old version of Glorious Eggroll's League wine fixes. So now we're just gonna kind of let this play out. Once the install is completely done, we'll close it out. So I'm gonna check chat real fast. While we got some waiting to do. Oh, thanks, Aurora. Yeah, I made that kind of public, but I need to make a script to kind of automate a lot of my window users as well. Do you think GTA 5 would install on this? Yeah, absolutely. GTA 5 works pretty darn well these days. Matt, happy Friday. What's your favorite game at the moment to play on Linux? You're going to laugh at me, but Final Fantasy 11, I haven't necessarily been playing it on Linux, but I'm going to actually port it to Linux today because I have been playing the crap out of Final Fantasy 11 using like a Sheeta and doing invoke. You can actually invoke, which add a little more functionality to like a 20-year-old game that I've been playing. But probably my favorite game to play on Linux would be, oh man, Final Fantasy 6 I like a lot, but non-Final Fantasy games, oh man, I haven't been playing that much. Oh, Guild Wars 2 is one I wanted to grab too, because Guild Wars 2 I'm pretty sure works really, really good on Linux as well. Let's install that next. Yeah, Minecraft also. Minecraft's native because it just runs through Java. Fallout 3 actually works better on Linux than Windows. That's true. Mainly because Fallout 3 was made for games for Windows Live back when Microsoft Vista was out, or Windows Vista was out. And Vista, with all the weird jankiness to it, and the evolution of to 7 to 8 and 10 and now 11, uh, Windows hasn't maintained very good compatibility with 10 plus year old games, to where most 10 plus year old games will play better in a Linux environment. So for you old school gamers out there, Linux is definitely viable. Oh, and Elden Ring for sure. Yeah, Alex. I played through all of Elden Ring, beat all the bosses, Melania, the Elder Beast, all of that, and that was fun. That was amazing. Yeah, they will. So Valve will release SteamOS for desktops, but I just don't know what kind of support they're going to actually put into that. And I'm curious to see what they do. Now, Glorious Eggroll does a lot of patches, and I'm not sure if SteamOS is doing the same patches that Glorious Eggroll is doing. And that's where, the title of this stream is, hey, here's an alternative to SteamOS. Is it better than what SteamOS or Valve release will be, Nobara, which is kind of what we're using now. And I think the answer to that question is yeah, it is better. Obviously, because what you have from Valve is just not a complete product yet. And will it be complete is the other question. No one knows. Because SteamOS 2 and 1 were all Debian based. And this is going to be Arch based, but not traditional Arch. It's going to be immutable. So that means there's not going to be any system changes. It's going to be basically images that get pushed down. And I don't know how well they'll do it. I don't have that much faith in it. All right. I think we're done. All right. Close that out. Yeah, I think SteamOS will be better for casual users. I agree with that, Alex. Not much will change. So let's hit play. Now, normally when you would hit play, there'd be this huge long lag time. Now with Nobara, it did pop right up, and with mine, does not look like it's popping up. So we might have, because I think you normally would have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes before it would finally pop up. So there's something we missed. Something else that Glorious Eggroll is doing with Nobara that I did not do with my Fedora install here, even though I grabbed a lot of the same packages he's using. Yeah, if you're doing a lot of Linux gaming, Matt, I would recommend an AMD GPU. Even though NVIDIA right now has done a open source their drivers, it's still going to take a year or two before you'll get there. And I think they said that the open source drivers do not apply to the Pascal series, which I believe is the 10 series, so 1060s, 1070s, 1080s, all won't work through the open source drivers. So you'll still be using all the proprietary drivers for NVIDIA. I absolutely hate using NVIDIA in Linux. It's just awful. But I think that will get fixed here in a couple years. I think in a lot of installs. So how did Glorious Eggroll... Oh, here we go. Requires a modified version of Wine in changing a system setting. Otherwise, the game will crash after champion select. Okay. think that's syscontrol. Now, yeah. Syscall 32 to 1. Now we'll probably do this, but I do want to put this in sudo vim etc sysctl conf. Oh, there's nothing here. Okay. Okay, yeah. See if there's any other changes. It's not horrible. All right, let's log in. 1 second. Let's see how this does. Okay, cool. Now, normally this gets really janky around this time. Let's go ahead, close this out. And hit play. Now this, when you hit play, it would take minutes usually to launch into the regular client. Now, that overlay that just popped up did... Curious to see. Yeah, whatever tweaks Glorious Eggroll did with Nobara, I would say it did not make it into the upgraded system. So it's not a kernel setting. It's got to be another tweak that he did. No. This is not Nobara. This is my Fedora instance that I just grabbed a whole bunch of Nobara packages. I was like, yeah, I don't want to reinstall my system, so I'm just going to upgrade my Fedora to use Nobara's repos. So it's Nobara Titus. Yeah, kinda. Half A double scribbled. Nobara is what this is. Yeah. I'm not sure on this one. I'm gonna say, yeah, it's still trash on here. But Nobara, I think, was an instant launch. John from chat was saying it was an instant launch for him in Nobara. So, let's see. Can I click? Oh. Uh-oh. Let's stop it. Okay. Let's try Guild Wars 2. That was something I was wanting to do. So, it was number 2. Okay. Lutris. Guild Wars 2 has always worked pretty well. And it's something I wanted to get back into anyways. I have 100% map completion on Guild Wars 2, so I played it a good bit. We do want the shader cache. And I actually installed Guild Wars 2 on my Chromebook. So it actually was playable with lower graphics settings on a Chromebook. So I'm sure this will work really well because the Chromebook, if you're not familiar, it uses LXC, which is like containers through Chrome OS. So the fact that it even played was kind of amazing. But I think this will work really, really well. I didn't want to play League of Legends anyways. Toxic game. You can't find anything more toxic. On towns, okay. Yeah, I will say I still use my Chromebook often just because it's so portable and the battery just lasts forever. It's like the cheap version of an Apple laptop. And that's why I kind of love it. I mean, I wouldn't use it for my main desktop because I'm not crazy, but it gets a lot of hate, and I still enjoy using my Chromebook. Surprisingly. Now, for this one, on my network, I do have Guild Wars 2 installed, so I think I can stop the installer once it's all done, launch into it, go into the... I think I can grab, I think the .dat file from Guild Wars 2 is like 50-something gigs, and I think we can just take that directly from Windows and plop it right in here. Let's just install it to its base directory. That was program files, Guild Wars 2. And then instead of sitting here watching 60 gigs of download, because let's face it, I'm not going to make it that long. I want to just grab that. So it's downloading now. We'll close this out. Close it out. It'll finish the install. Perfect. Now what we'll do is browse the files. Go into Drive C, Program Files, Guild Wars 2, and this file, the .dat file, is where most of Guild Wars is stored. So, I want to say I could go into... Oh, I need to share that file through my system. Let's see what we can do. Let's go to Windows now. And Win Data, Games, Guild Wars 2. So this data file is 60 gigs, and that's what we want to grab. And I think we could just toss that into our Linux install so we don't have to download all this again. And probably the easiest way to go about doing this would be... I think we could just share this through SMB and then grab it from Linux. Maybe. That's a big maybe. Or maybe we share the Linux. Wow, which way we want to go about doing this? Yeah. I don't want to use SMB just because it's going to be slower than dirt. I don't think I even have NFS on here either. Might be able to do it. Let's go PowerShell. Let's try the new script, actually. Or actually, I think we'll just do it old school. We'll do it manually. Because if I do NFS, I think that should... Oh, cool. I don't have NFS. Okay, neat. Let's enable NFS. I think that should be good. We'll run our new script, IWR, USEB. IEX. Grab that. Config. We just want NFS. We'll install those features. Snap drop. That's another idea. We got Warpinator, Snap drop. Yeah, but the thing here is I really don't want to do it through there. You could drop it on an external drive and then grab it with Linux. I honestly, like, if I was doing a lot of files and I was going to repeat this process, doing a crossover cable, which you don't really need a crossover cable these days, you could do... I mean, I have a NAS box. I can just drop it on the NAS box, and that would be probably the easiest way. How long would that take? Let's see. But before we do that, let's... NFS is now set up on mounts. Cool. Done. Neat. And... ooh, I don't even think I have my scripts for this, do I? Nah, I don't want to go poking around on live stream looking for my scripts. That would not be good. But let's just try to do the DAT file. Fine. Let's see how bad SMB is gonna be if I just do it through. Let's do backups. Toss it into here. I mean, it's not horrible. 150 megabytes a second, 160 megabytes a second. I mean, that's basically maxing out a spinning platter drive. So if you have like a 7200 RPM, usually you'll be around in this era. You can get better, but I think that spinning platter is on a RAID array, so technically I could get over 200 in an optimal condition. So NFS would probably give us another 200, or probably another, not 200, but probably another 20 or 30 megabytes per second. Just when you lose the overhead of SMB. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with that. If it was like NVMe drives I was copying to, I'd be super upset right now. But again, these are 18 terabyte drives that I'm using. So traditional spinning platter, 7200, 18 terabyte drives. That's not a bad transfer rate. Yeah, actually, the Elden Ring does work a little bit better through... I don't think... when I was trying Proton GE, it didn't work, but that was right on release. Oh, yeah, when I was on Twitch. Alex, I'm always jumping on Twitch whenever like I'd like run into a roadblock with like a video or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, I can't do anything. And then I'm like, I'm just going to goof off and jump on Twitch. So that's kind of when I jump on there. I don't really have a schedule. I wish, if I could make a living doing Twitch, I totally would. But that's not happening. NFS share with Robocopy for the win. Yeah, if it's like terabytes of files, Mira, I will always use NFS with Robocopy. That's always going to be better than using GUI and traditional SMB like so many people use and like I'm using here. Yeah, I actually have 18 terabyte drives. So I have a good sizable chunk for video editing mainly. That's usually what takes up every video I make is usually a good chunk of data. But I'm still only doing like 1080p most instances. Oh yeah. If you do want Guild Wars 2, get on Prime Gaming. You do get a 50% off the not the last two expansions, but there's 3 expansions like Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, I think, and you get both those for $15, which is not bad considering Guild Wars 2 doesn't have a monthly fee. And then the new one, like End of Dragon or something like that, is $30. So you could grab all the expansions for like $45 if you wanted it on Guild Wars 2. But you really don't need to. If you haven't played it, just play it for free. The base game's free now, and you can just jump in. You gave up making LOL work? Yeah. It didn't launch properly. I know I could get it to kind of work, but I need to do some more investigation. Exactly what he was doing is the big thing. Like, I'm curious to see what Glorious Eggroll did to make League work so well on Nobara, because it wasn't the kernel that he was using. It wasn't a lot of the stuff he was using. There was something else, and I don't know what I'm missing there and what he did to make it so responsive. Now, I will say a lot of the things I did install, like the overlay of League and that type of thing, it did work. It was much more responsive than it ever has been. So that is getting better. But right now, I think Nobara is the only distro I know that plays League properly. Win 10 LTSC for #1 for gaming. Yeah, I agree with that, Joel. Are you going to cover newly open source NVIDIA drivers? I covered that a little bit earlier, Mario, but no. I made a community post saying, hey, hell froze over. NVIDIA released open source drivers. But I think the too long didn't watch if most of it is. I think NVIDIA is just looking for brownie points because they got hacked and most of their source code got leaked to the internet anyways. So they're like, might as well open source it. And it'll be probably 6 months to a year before we really start to see them take that open source from NVIDIA and start to, include that into the Linux kernel. Maybe sooner, because NVIDIA is so widely used. But oh man, it'll be so much nicer when you don't have to use the proprietary drivers. What's your opinions? KDE versus no? Man, it's like asking the difference between Windows and Mac. It's just different strokes for different folks, man. All right, there's 60 gigs. Cool. All right. So we got Guild Wars 2 here. And we'll open up main pool. Backups. Let's just take this guy, copy, paste, replace. Let's see how fast it copies on this one. Oh, yes. Oh, how you like them apples? I don't think you can see that, but that is, holy, that's 600 megabytes a second. Oh, Windows, you suck. Let's see, can I blow that up? Oh, let's unlock desktop. Look at this. Look at that. Woo! It was at 600 for a little bit. Now it's at 400 something. Wow. Look. Oh, enhance. Starting to drop a little bit. Yeah, let's see if it keeps up the pace on that 60 gig file. I wonder where it'll level off at. I think some of it was in the NVMe cache on my NAS box. So when the NVMe cache hit, it was like, bam! Download everything all at once, and it was at like 600 megs. But now that it's starting to fall back onto the spinning platters in the RAID, I think we'll lose a lot of the write speed as it's pulling it down. Oh, we'll see though. And the fact that I think this is a spinning platter as well. My Linux data, I'm pretty sure that's a spinning platter. I could be wrong though. Probably should check to see how much space is available. Current window manager setup's just a custom BSP WM spin that I'm running. We'll see how this does. I've never done a full DAT replacement for Guild Wars 2. I just didn't want to re-download all this through live stream through the internet because it would just take forever. But so far, we're about 10 minutes in, maybe? And that's not so bad for a big game like this. What's the new tab extension on your browser? That says welcome, Chris. Oh, Red Bliss, that's Momentum. Momentum Dash. Basically, it clears off everything. Brave has a whole bunch of like crypto garbage when you open it up, and I hate it. So I was just like, I want just a pretty picture, which it has like beautiful, you know, scenic ones, and it's just like, what's your focus today? And you just put your focus in, and it's great. So I love that. I'm using Fedora right now. How are you doing your headshot? Green screen right here, and then I use OBS for everything. So OBS does all the alpha and all that stuff. I don't use that NVIDIA stuff, mainly because with green screen, it's less of the software you use, it's more about lighting. So I have 3 points of light, actually 4, but I have 2 main lights right here. And then for my rim light, I stuck it up there, but I actually have 2 rim lights. One blasts tons and tons of light down between me and the green screen, and then I have another light over here to really illuminate the green screen behind me. That way, like, when you look through my chair, like, this is, you know, whatever you see on the background, it does a lot better job. So when you see bad green screen where you have a lot of like greenish around the edges, or you see a bunch of shadows and stuff like that, they're just not using enough lights, and software can't fix that. So any green screens like that. Oh man, Linux fell down. It's back to Windows levels. Sad face. I was so pumped right at the very beginning. They're like, man, 600 megs, and then slowly it adapted. All right. Let's reset transform. That's cool though. Neat. We're almost done with that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the one problem I have with Ubuntu is it's pushing snaps like crazy. Like, take all the politics and all that out. Snaps are just slow. That's the problem. It's slow. And I don't want my system to work worse than Windows. And in my opinion, when you add all the snaps and junk of Ubuntu, I'd rather use Windows. And that's just kind of where I'm at with the base install of Ubuntu. It's not to say Ubuntu's a bad distro. It's just, if I am going to use Ubuntu, I would start with Ubuntu server, rip out any snaps and snapd, and then build my own on top of it. And then that way you don't have any snaps slowing you down. If they ever fix that problem and snaps actually become good, I mean, that's fine. I'd be okay with that. But as it stands right now, snaps in Ubuntu are just slow, and it's not a great experience compared to other Linux distributions. Thanks, Mira. Yeah, I saw that YouTube got gifted subs for live streams, I think. Although I don't think that's enabled for everyone yet. I think only like the big YouTube live streamers have the gifted subs now. All right, are we done? Ah, come on, finish. Oh, Snapchats. Okay. Oops. Wrong snap. Come on, finish. I want to see this Guild Wars work. Probably need to do some Mango HUD too before I forget. While we're waiting for it to finish. Okay. How do you get that window tiling extension for BSPWM? Oh, BSPWM's like a full... That's what I use to navigate my entire system. It's not an extension. That's a Linux thing. CIA probably has exploits. Not probably. It definitely does. I remember the leak from 2017 that led to so many ransomware people using and abusing the CIA tools to do some just ridiculous stuff with ransomware. But all those back doors had been there for years and years. It was only because of that leak that all happened. So yeah, of course Windows 10 and Windows 11 have back doors. All right. We are done. We've got the DAT file over here. Now, let's see if this actually works, or we just wasted our entire time doing Guild Wars 2. Let's see. Boom. All right. All right, 1 second. I got to log in here. I don't want to give my email address on stream. That would be no bueno. Let's see if I can remember what my password was. Maybe. Ah, there we go. Sweet. All right. So now let's launch some Guild Wars 2 action. Let's just take old Guild Wars 2. Let's push that to this workspace. Let's see. Let's pause the background music. And it does look good. So, wrong. Got my little necro here. So it's using wine 5.2 for this, which is kind of a really old wine. Our resolution's 1440p. You're not using VK Basalt. We are using game mode. My rack, honestly, I need to like get some better cooling. A lot of my CPU speeds and stuff are not the best. All right, we're at 150 FPS. What's our graph settings? Graphic settings. Let's go full screen, refresh rate, default. That just says default. Best appearance. What does that do? Oh, we did lose quite a bit of FPS over here. All right, let's do auto detect. Okay. Depth blur? No. Okay. Should be pretty good. Yeah, that works pretty good. I gotta rebind all my keys, but other than that, works pretty good. I'd say that's a win. It's not bad.
My energy is diminished.
Much appreciated. The sooner we reach the rally point with these supplies, the better.
Pretty solid, though. All right, cool. So, yeah, Guild Wars 2, that's a winner. Oh, I love it. Grab my daily reward, huh? All right, sweet. Also, the coolest thing about Linux, too, that I like when I'm gaming on it, is the instant quit. Oh, man, that is just so darn nice. So that one, that's a winner. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is a fun one. I like Guild Wars 2. It's been a long time since I played it. Dak at my work, we were talking the other day. He's like, "Hey, I'm loading up Guild Wars." He played Guild Wars 1, and I was like, "Oh man, I played the crap out of Guild Wars 2." It's been, I think I quit right after Heart of Thorns release, so there's been 3 expansions. So I need to jump back in there. I'll probably stream over on Twitch, whenever I do it. Probably not today though. I have to. Oh man, I have to get a video out. I have not made any videos on YouTube for like a week and a half. I've been super lazy. And I pretty much got my Windows utility as good as it's going to get for its first public release. And that's going to be tomorrow's video. But that's going to be the big thing here. I just kind of want to test out Nobara a little bit. I'm going to leave all these tweaks that we did today on my Fedora instance. I'm going to do some research and see if I can't figure out what happened with League and how what kind of black magic Glorious Eggroll put in to make that happen. I'm curious. Ah, wine specific dependencies that help it run. Okay. I bet you there's some I might be using a wine repo. Ah, what happened there? Let's take a peek. Yeah, okay, okay. So here's probably what I'm doing wrong. That kind of reminded me of something, John, right as you said it. That wine repo is probably taking precedent. No, it didn't. Well, regardless, I will leave it as is because I might do some research into that, and I might remove that COPR of Glorious Egg Rolls and Nobara because I don't need it because I have the regular repo down here as well. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. I'll definitely tinker around a little more. Oh, Bloodborne playthrough. I really do. Since I enjoy Elden Ring so much, I have to try Bloodborne. I've heard so many good things. But soon. I've seen this stuff about Hollow ISO. I have not. Need to take a peek at that. Yeah, I'm not sure there's if you're interested in that type of thing, David, when it comes to let me get over here. If you're interested in that type of thing, check out Chimera OS. He's done a really good integration to keep everything a home theater PC without any keyboards. And you can navigate Lutris with a gamepad. You can navigate pretty much your whole OS with a gamepad. So check out Chimera OS. It used to be called Gamer OS back in the day, but they changed the name of it. and it's pretty good. I would imagine if you need Lucha style games like Guild Wars 2 or League of Legends, that type of thing, it also might be good. But I'm curious to see what people do with Nobara OS and pulling that one in. I imagine the Chimera OS guy, because it's not a team, I think it's just one dude. I think he will probably grab a lot of the optimizations that Glorious Eggroll does for Nobara. Hey, Sparky, how you doing? Fam is good, man. We're doing really good. Wife's out of town right now, so me and the kids are gonna go have a party later tonight. It's gonna be fun. All right, sweet. Well, I'm going to end the stream up here, guys. Thanks so much for checking out this new OS with me. It was really kind of a cool exploration of it. Like I said, it felt like a really highly optimized Fedora, which is basically what it was. And with custom kernels that Glorious Eggroll did. There was some other little magic he did behind the scenes, which I'm curious to dig it a little deeper and see what kind of other optimizations I can steal from him, because Glorious Eggroll is a great mind in the Linux gaming. So, should be fun. Should be fun. But thanks all for joining for this live stream. Next Friday, I don't know what we'll do. Depends on what happens during the week. But I'll figure out something for next Friday's stream. I just saw this pop up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, man, I want to check this out, because most Linux distributions I look at, I'm just like, more of the same. And that one was a lot different. That's why I wanted to explore it a little bit today, and also kind of take and steal from it a lot of the goodness that Glorious Eggroll's put into it. So awesome, guys. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all in the next one. Good seeing you again too, Sparky.